Alright boys, how we doing? Are we rolling?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah. Landon, thank you for doing this, bro.
Of course, anytime.
I heard you're a professional finger skateboarder.
Not professional yet. Yeah, I got into it like, I don't know, probably 8 years ago. So I was recording out of my dad's garage. And I was like bouncing a bunch of stems for a band. And I found it, so I just started messing around with it. And then I remembered like seeing videos of dudes like doing like crazy shit. So I started YouTubing like techniques. And then I don't know.
Damn, so you're like super deep in it.
Oh, I was for a while, yeah. I even had my own like brand for a little while.
What?
Yeah, it was like called Cruzo fingerboards. I only had it going for like a year. Didn't sell a whole lot. Believe it or not, it's not a huge market.
That's surprising.
Yeah.
I should have brought one. It crossed.
You had one?
Yeah, it literally crossed my mind. I was like, oh, this would be the perfect way of just tattooing while you're,
fingerboarding.
Fingerboarding.
That might be a little hard, but.
How much actual like technique? It's not just like
So
flipping the board
much.
up and just grabbing.
Dude,
right? Like, they're
it's-
doing shit on purpose.
Me learning how to ollie on a fingerboard took me probably like 2 weeks to maybe 3 weeks of like just non-stop messing around. It was brutal.
Did you ever actually try skateboarding?
Yeah, no, I started skateboarding when I was like 10 or 11.
Fuck yeah.
I did some competitions and stuff up until I was like 15, 16. Yeah, so I broke a limb. I can't remember if it was my wrist or leg, but I broke in like every fucking thing you can imagine. So I broke a bone, mystery bone, and then I was like, okay, I think I need to pick up something else. So then I started playing guitar and got into music from there.
Oh, so the breaking of the bone literally jump-started music for you?
It really did, yeah. From that just started like trying to find different people that played different instruments. A bunch of people from like church and shit like that were also into music and stuff, and so we started a bunch of little shitty screamo emo bands, and kind of led me to what I'm doing now.
How's the scene in Detroit?
Well, so I grew up in a little town called Findlay, Ohio. The scene was like non-existent. There was like one dude, his name was Nick Moore. He actually owns a record label now. He always put on these like local shows, and that was kind of like what sparked the scene where I lived. That's where I met like Josh and Ethan, and that's where I met the dudes that were in my first band.
What was the first band called?
Before Their Eyes. Don't look it up. It was a very shitty.
That's gonna be the intro music to
It was
this
a-
video. You guys have music videos and all that?
Yeah, actually, they're
that's
so bad. Very embarrassing. But we started out as like a Christian screamo band,
Yeah.
and then we kind of like sold out a little bit, and we tried to be like a boys like girls type of. You remember that band?
Oh yeah.
For just trying to get girls type of band.
Did it work?
No, not at all. Failed very miserably. Which led me to Plot though, so it worked out.
Do you think of yourself as more of an instrumentalist or a vocalist first?
I think it's pretty 50-50 at this point. Like I still write all of the like actual music, like instrumentals and stuff for Plot. As far as being a vocalist goes though, I do take that very seriously, and like every tour try to work on techniques and try to be better and better. So, they're both like pretty equally focused upon. Going back like through COVID, I go back and watch old videos of us playing live, and I was like, okay, shit, I have a lot to work on. So I've been actually trying to make sure that I can go back after a performance and watch a video and not feel like shit about myself.
It's pretty easy to get so sucked into how you're performing, like physically, and how you're
it's a lot
interacting with the crowd.
Exactly. It's a lot to focus on at one time. I like, especially a lot of old songs, I like had to learn them a certain way just to like get through the song like back in the day. But like going back, especially like after COVID and stuff, I was like, okay, how do I reapproach these songs to where I can like do them more accurately, because you kind of like make up ways to bullshit your way through certain parts,
Mm-hmm.
So I've been like really trying to focus on like actually performing things the way that they were done.
How do you practice that?
Literally, I'll make my wife leave for like an hour or two, like just go shopping or something, and I'll just sit in my studio and just run through the songs a bunch. Just like figure out different ways to even like move my jaw and like do breath work to like get things out appropriately.
Did you ever take like vocal lessons or anything like that?
No, I never did. I can attribute pretty much everything to just trial and error on tour, especially with like screaming and stuff. The first like, 7 years of doing Plot, I would lose my voice at least 2 or 3 times a tour. and I'd have to deal with like multiple shows of like complete embarrassment, you know, and probably developed some scar tissue in my throat.
I'm sure.
I would love to see what the inside of my throat looks like. It's probably a disaster.
How did you learn to scream? Did you start screaming before singing?
Yeah, well, kind of. I'd always kind of sang like growing up, just like around the house and stuff like that. I never like took it seriously or anything, but whenever I did my first band, nobody else knew how to scream. We like needed that, I guess, in our music for some reason. So I took the reins on that, and I was so bad. It wasn't even a scream, it was just a noise that happened to fall out of my body. It was not good.
I feel like people who aren't in the scene like that don't realize how hard they're like, you're just yelling like as if it's an easy thing.
Right.
But
yeah.
damn it, I've been trying to learn to scream for 10 years and I still can't learn it. How do you do it? I know there's a few different like places in your throat you can actually scream.
It was like so much trial and error. I've been asked that question a couple times, and I never have answers. I literally have no idea. I've just been doing it wrong for so long that I just naturally adapted a way to do it without completely destroying my throat.
When did you figure out how to do it with pitch?
Yeah, it's our second record.
Yeah.
There was one song where I had to like sing a part that was super, super high, and I just could not hit it, so I just like pushed it as hard as I could until it came out, but it kind of came out more as a scream.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's like a new thing that I can kind of do. By the time the next record came along, Happiness and Self-Destruction, ended up trying a thing where I was doing the screaming in most of the choruses, and then the verses would be singing, and then Dispose was, I guess, the one I kind of like, fine-tuned it a little bit.
When you're producing, do you ever think of how something will come out live when you're doing it, or do you just record the best vocal part you can possibly do and you'll figure out how to sing it live later?
No, yeah, that's basically how it goes. And honestly, I kind of torture my band with that too. I don't think about the fact that they actually have to figure it out, right?
Every single time. I gotta ask for like 2 weeks to get the stems.
Yeah.
Like I just need to listen to it so I can learn it.
There's a song on our last record called Paradigm.
Mm-hmm.
And on that one, I just went so stupid hard on every aspect, like for myself and for the band. And we got together to practice it, and I was like, dude, I don't even know if this is ever gonna happen. It was brutal. I'm still trying to figure it out, but we still play.
What, were you recording other people right away?
Yeah, like way too soon. None of the local bands had like any idea how to do any of that. Like the closest studio that was like even the most remotely affordable was like an hour or two away.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, they weren't very good either. So I was just like, I don't know, I had, at least in my small hometown, I was like the only one doing like touring and stuff. So I was like, I'll just like capitalize on this and just try to learn as I go. So like I got pretty much all the local bands within a half-hour radius to come work with me, which was sick. And I learned a lot. I pretty much worked every day in between tours.
This is such a funny interview I had. Like, I haven't seen you answer a single question. Like, I've just seen the back of your head.
Yeah.
I'm like getting very acquainted with the back of your head.
Oh, dude, we didn't even talk about the tattoo. Tell everyone what you're getting inked up here.
I'm getting either a moth or a butterfly. I can't remember. What is it?
It's a butterfly.
Butterfly. Yeah, I'll never see
You'll
it. I have
never
no
fucking
idea.
see it.
You could be tattooing anything on me right now, and I'd never know.
It's a huge dick, dude. It's sick.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll live with it.
You'll have to.
Yeah.
It's on there now.
It's on there now, brother.
Do you ever feel like when you're writing for someone else, you have this urge to make things bigger and bigger and heavier, but sometimes it's a pop song and
Yes.
they don't want, like, you know what I mean? They're most pop songs, like,
Dude, I run into
stay
that.
consistent.
I run into that issue with almost every client I work with. I try to do all this weird shit that I think is cool, and I always have to like fight them. Like, let me at least finish the idea before you like make judgment. I get bored with just normal sounds, you know. Especially as a producer, you hear the same shit over and over, so you're constantly trying to add like sauce to make it different.
Yeah, it's
But I definitely go way overboard all the time, even with my own stuff. Sometimes I'll listen back to stuff I've done. I'm like, why did that need to be there? But just get lost in the sauce. It happens. My tactic lately has been like, let's go as hard as possible, like with production and like ideas and like weird stuff, and then kind of strip layers back and see like what actually serves the song and what's just my ego.
Honestly, like I hear so many little moments in the plot records where I'm like, oh, I bet Lincoln was just like going off on this part, and then maybe only kept one little intro or one little whatever, but like that added production literally makes your guys' music so special and so different from other bands, especially in the scene. I feel like the scene's really starting to come around, but
For sure.
I haven't really heard anyone do it like you guys.
Yeah, I think a lot, like, for me, it comes a lot from, like, I'm a huge fan of, like, pop production and, like, rap production. Because when you listen to, like, modern pop, there's, like, always something happening. Even if it's, like really small in the background, really quiet in the background, there's almost always something happening. And to me, that, like, kind of makes it feel like the song has been lived in, if that makes sense. I've always been obsessed with, like, spaces, like, filling little gaps and stuff like that. And just like things that hit the ear a little bit different than I guess like what you're typically used to. I started doing that a little bit more on Dispose, I think, than most of the records.
Who else are your favorite producers?
Producers. Jason Joshua. He does like Frank Ocean is basically the main one that I like really fuck with that he's done. Yeah, it's one of my favorite records of all time. Honestly, Drew Folk, to dial it back to our scene a little bit, I think we kind of have like similar taste in how we like approach our productions and stuff like that. He's got a very unique mind for like transitions and like ways to make things more impactful.
What was your last job before music?
I only worked one job ever before, and that was at Dairy Queen.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
I made ice cream cones and flip burgers. But it was actually sick. I actually liked the job a lot. I started when I was 15. I was making like $5.25 an hour, like a little bit of money every month to like go out and do stupid shit with my friends. I like learned a lot. My boss was cool. They were like very supportive of the music stuff. For the first year, I think that I was touring, they let me come back in between and still work. So
Wow, that's awesome.
yeah, I was grateful for that. It's gonna
Thank
be
you
dope.
so much for doing an interview with me.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, let's we're on the last like little stretch here. Let's I feel like we can kind of call it here. You crushed it, bro. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for letting me interview.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
That shit